Hi everybody, Poop Witch X here, and I have with me my side quest teammate and the hilarious, awesome, incredible Ryan Not Lion. Episode 18, there has already been pandemonium. How are you, Ryan?
I'm great. I was just looking around to see who you were talking about, this hilarious person that apparently is on camera.
You are hilarious and amazing, and I am mild or moderately obsessed with you.
That's so sweet in a not creepy kind of way.
It can be a little creepy. Well, honestly, just to be completely transparent, we've had a little bit of chaos happening before we started the podcast because of things and stuff and things. So Ryan, I just want to say thank you for being such a trooper, and also coming in with the raid and then pandemonium happening after that. So thank you so much for that. How was your stream, by the way?
Sodium,
pandas, mooses were on the loose. It was very vigorous and violent. But how was your stream? What were you up to tonight?
It was good. I started playing the DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake, which the original Final Fantasy VII was one of my favorite games of all time. So it's very nostalgic, but also it's a beautiful game. So.
Yeah, I've never played, and what is it like? What would you compare it to that I might have played before? Is it anything comparable?
The original or the remake?
The original.
The original?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay, so you're going back to, all right, picture it. It's 1997.
Okay, I was 6. Okay.
You never played anything like it then. Conversation over.
I haven't because honestly, I don't even know if I've seen, like, actively watched anyone play the first one. I've seen people play the remakes, but I don't know what the first one was like.
First one was like if you took a bunch of polygons and mashed them all together and then made them move. Because it was 1997. But at the time, it was amazing. It was beautiful.
When I was 6, I think I was mostly playing like Lion King on Sega.
Oh, God.
When you have, and it wasn't, that game was impossible. Once you got to the part where you had to jump on the ostrich heads, it was done. You were done. You would never get past that part, and it was over. But that game was so hard. It was not made for children. They are lying to everyone. I've never seen it completed. But yeah, I've never done the Final Fantasy. Is that a game that you play frequently in your streams?
I wasn't streaming at the time that the first episode of it came out, so I hadn't played. I started replaying it on stream, and then we got into the DLC, so I haven't actually streamed like a full game of it yet.
Oh, okay. So like, what would you describe like is your content? Like how would you formulate like what you focus on and what you do? Because I know that you just had like a mental health discussion a couple streams ago, right? So like, how would you kind of describe it?
My content is chaotic, but
the best kind.
Wholesome in a way. As Zenny would say, our teammate Zenith, we are not family friendly, but we are a friendly family.
That's cute. Oh,
because
that's really cute.
We're definitely not a family friendly stream. We curse. We make some lewd suggestions, but we are definitely welcoming and inviting. So it's we do a lot of different things. We do community games, we do story games, we do multiplayer games, a little bit of everything. We also have this really cool thing that I got an idea from Jambo. We have our Pay It Forward program where we take donations throughout the month, pull them together, and then drop a huge sub bomb on some unsuspecting, growing streamer. It's something that we started doing literally like right after I hit affiliate, basically.
That is awesome.
So it's just something that we've kind of been running with, and just really, you don't see things like that enough. And that was literally the idea that like my first or second stream into watching Jambo, and I'm like,
yeah, that's a really good idea.
That's brilliant. Like
Yeah.
literally, like you can make somebody's whole day or week or whatever. Like, and it's just really great to see people in the community come together. Throw out a couple bucks here, there, or whatever. But also like to see the people's reactions when you just show up and they have no idea who you are. We just raid into there like, hey, what's up? And start talking to them. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, boom, and we drop 70 subs, and they're just like. What?
That is awesome. No, I seen Jambo do that once. I didn't know she did it like routinely. That is actually.
I don't know if she's done it routinely on it.
Yeah.
Like it was like they were like, "Hey, let's do this." I'm like, "It's such a good idea."
I love when
they did something like that the other day, actually.
Yeah, I think I actually was like lurking in the end of her birthday stream, and I think I caught her starting to do something like that, but then I wasn't like actively watching the whole time. But it's so nice then like when streamers want to give back to other streamers and like have a sense of camaraderie, because I think it's a really antiquated sort of thing where everyone like looks at. I know that like at a part of Twitch is like people feel like it's competitive and you have to like it's like a eat or be. It's not. Like you can help each other, you can support each other, and there's absolutely no reason. Like I always say this is like. When you click on a streamer stream, you're opening a door to their little corner of Twitch, and their corner is not going to be like anyone else's. So you can't compete. Like there's no competition because everyone's so distinctly different, because the content is the person and no person is like another person. So I love that. I think that's awesome.
I've always had that mentality that nobody on our platform, at least to me, is competition.
Right. It's not.
We're all on the same team and we can all succeed.
Yeah.
There's enough room at the table for everybody, and people who treat that the complete opposite just really it kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, and it's also detrimental because when you look at everyone like that, like how do you even
into a game of numbers? And I can look at numbers, I cannot look at numbers. Either way, it doesn't affect me. Like some people can't look at view count. Some people can't look at, whatever. And that's each person has their own things that work for them.
And I agree. And I think also like, okay, so Ryan, how long have you been streaming? When did you first start?
I started my April 26th of 2020.
Oh, wow. So
I'm very new.
You're new too. It's so interesting because I did a podcast last week with Faye, and I hadn't realized that Faye was only streaming for like a year, and now I find out you're only been streaming for like a year, and that's like incredible. That is amazing how much you were able to accomplish. So how did you get into streaming? Like were you always exposed to Twitch, or is it like a newer thing for you?
I had been like semi-exposed to Twitch. The concept of it was there. But I had an issue with a previous employer that caused me to part ways. Some labor law issues and some really bad things.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was not good.
Jeez.
So I left and actually got a lawyer.
Whoa.
It was that kind of bad.
Was it just involving you, or was it like the whole company?
No, it was a company. It was a smaller company, but it was all of us. So we all got legal counsel and started, building our case and had all this stuff.
Against the company that you were working for?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what happened? The pandemic hit. Everything came to a screeching halt in the courts.
No.
Everything. Yeah. Like, I'm talking, like, unpaid overtime. We weren't given breaks, like, labor law violations, like, bad.
Whoa.
Well, during the pandemic, what happened, the company shut down all of their locations in New York. Then we don't have a case because they're not in the state of New York. We can't pursue them pursuant to New York State.
Wait, they closed the places in New York to move somewhere else?
Yep.
Or was it...
Yeah, out of state.
That is diabolical. Oh my God.
We couldn't even recoup our lost wages that we would have gotten and everything. It was really bad.
That like seems, I feel like evading a lawsuit by going to another.
In a way, yes.
Is against the law.
They could also cover their tracks. We had to close because of the pandemic, because of COVID. and then nobody, like
the timing for them was so fortuitous, where it was like the opposite. Wow. So are they currently, this company moved to like another state? Like, are they still?
Yeah, as far as I know, they're in one of the Carolinas now.
What? Holy crap. That is awful. Wow. So what happened? So you couldn't pursue this lawsuit, and then the pandemic hits.
This was all going on. So, I'm already sitting at home looking for work. Everything's closed down. Nobody's looking for anybody to work. And I said, I already play video games. I already something I've enjoyed since I was very, very young.
Right.
Why not, kind of hang out with people? I had a friend or two who had been streaming, and like, I think you'd be really good at this. I think you have the personality, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then, I wanted to keep myself busy. I wanted to build a routine while I wasn't working and keep myself accountable in some aspect. So streaming became it. So literally, I was essentially streaming more or less full time because I didn't have any, viable job offers.
Right.
So I just started streaming in April and just went nuts from there.
Wow. And I feel like the way you started streaming kind of feels like a lot of people found Twitch during the pandemic too. It was an outlet for a lot of people who were in your situation where they either were like furloughed or fired or were kind of in this in between, or they were looking for a job and they couldn't. And then Twitch became like a safe haven for a lot of people.
They were viewers, people stuck at home, or people who had started streaming. There was this huge boom, and I think we're kind of seeing, I don't know about you, like I look at numbers in a this is a trend. Like I'm seeing a decrease across the board for a lot of people, just because people are returning back to work full time, or people are having their situations changed.
Yeah.
Now
I always feel
some
like
things are opening.
Like when it comes to numbers and stuff, like listen, I'm not one of those streamers. Like I can look at my view count. It doesn't like affect my energy or my mood. But what's interesting is I feel like probably the one thing that since I've been a streamer and I've learned the hard way when I tried to go full time a long time ago, and it was like a big mistake. I went about it at the wrong time for me. But the thing is like, don't try to control things that are out of your control. Don't try to control viewer count or sub count or anything like that, because that is out of your control. I try to focus on things that are like, what schedule works and what content can I do and how can I spread my content on other platforms and get, attention on Twitter or Instagram, because those things are in your control, whereas like numbers essentially really aren't.
You can't make people come to your stream, but you can make your stream more accessible and more, more. You can do a little bit more of an outreach, and definitely helps.
Only do stuff because I feel like that, and also it's summertime, which even from when since I've been streaming, summertime always people's numbers dip because people usually tend to go out. And this is also a very unique situation where, rules are lessening from the pandemic and people are finally going out after like a year of, really not being.
I think that's definitely played a part in it, but also change. It's just an ever changing
world
kind of landscape in the grand scheme of things. When you look at, you have different states doing different things now as far as their regulations, but also, there's chaos literally all over the world. I mean, I don't know about I know you're several hours away from me, but
we're both in New York though.
Yeah.
Yay!
We've had thunderstorms and flooding here.
Are you kidding me, Ryan? You don't understand.
Like crazy, literally for 2 weeks, and I'm like, what is
I could
going
literally drive the 6 hours to you and hug you right now, because I've been telling in my Discord and you've been experiencing too. Have you ever experienced anything like this in New York?
No. I was talking to somebody about this. I've
been losing my mind.
Usually we get a storm every maybe several weeks or a month.
Yes.
This has been day after day after day. And then, the West is burning, and you have all this stuff going on, and you're just like,
it's crazy. It's actually, and also it got so bad. Have you been losing power, Ryan, where you are? Did you have that micro burst that was like a tornado?
Not very far from here, but it didn't knock out power, thankfully.
We had in
Because
the span.
Oneida County had an actual F1.
No, that's what ours was categorized. I don't live in that county, but like I had 3 trees come down. 1 landed on my car and 2 took down portions of my fence. It was the most violent summer storm I've ever seen. And I feel like it's like, honestly, it got so bad that one of my community members actually sent me like things to protect your computer because we were losing power so frequently.
Yes.
Because
you definitely need a viable surge protector.
Yeah. So we just got that today. Thank you. Shout out to you know who.
Because I need to protect this thing. I spent a little more than,
It's so fancy.
A decent amount on that. It was my first computer I ever built, so I'm quite proud.
That you should be proud. Honestly, I cannot take credit. My husband built mine because the idea of building a computer makes me nauseated. I watched him do it. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, how do you do that?
Fun story. I'd never built one. No idea. And I said, I was streaming when I started from my laptop and my PlayStation. So I set up my laptop down on the table. And like I streamed myself building this thing.
That is actually really cool.
No clue what I'm doing.
Did they help you?
Yes, but it was also, I feel like 20 times more nerve-wracking because
people are watching.
Yes. Oh my god.
You could say that about anything with streaming. Whenever I'm like, I want to do like arts and crafts on stream, I'm like, no, because if I make a mistake, I'm gonna like lose my shit because people are watching me make mistakes. So you think about it more. But yeah, I think that's awesome that you built your computer while on stream. And honestly, I feel like that's just like a weird little anecdote. Like, I did not start streaming on the setup I have now. People usually start like down and dirty. You don't have to rush to build something immediately. Like, you can take your time and build something that works for you. And I actually really appreciate that you did something on your own time and you didn't rush. But yeah, back to the weather thing. Thank you so much for validating how vicious the storms have been.
It's been crazy.
It's been crazy. And I live much more south than Ryan does, but it is like unanimously New York. Like, the whole state is being like slammed with these summer storms that are like violent. They're violent.
Literally every day.
Every day we get rain. Every day. And then weather from the west is affecting. Well, the west is on fire right now. So
well, I don't know if I'm sure it's probably made it your way, but like the smoke,
the haze,
like in the atmosphere. Yeah, and it's just.
We actually yesterday, and I don't advocate this. Please don't do this, but there was so much smoke from the West Coast fires here.
Don't tell me you looked at the sun. I'm gonna.
Yes, don't you dare make fun of me. You could look at the sun, and it was like purpley pink. I swear.
Yeah.
He's like, don't tell me you looked at the sun. Just for a second, with sunglasses on, I swear. But I mean it, guys. Like, you could literally look at the sun and see it was like purple.
So many pictures of that. Like, it's just like, it's so there, weird. But that's true. I'm seeing, Canada's also burning to the ground. Everything's.
I don't. It's kind of scary, and it sort of makes me like, I don't know how you like with your mental health, whatever, but I have this like simultaneous feeling of like, holy fuck, I have to do stuff to help. Like, what can I do? And then feeling at the same time like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Like, it's a combination of like helplessness and wanting to do as much as you can.
Definitely.
Do you feel that too?
Oh yeah.
And that's something I've been struggling with a lot lately, because like I've been, I go on Reddit. Do you ever go on Reddit? Are you a Reddit?
I try not to.
It's such trash. But the thing about Reddit is, it's
like when I started doing Twitch, like I'm like, oh, I wonder if I can find any tips, about streaming and stuff, and it was just the most hate-filled.
Yes. Well, are you talking about our Twitch or live stream fails or both? You could be talking about both. They're both pretty bad.
Yeah,
they're both pretty bad.
It's just diarrhea of the keyboard, honestly.
It's true. It's a lot of people like. I would never actually.
Don't do this. Try this. You shouldn't do this. And I'm like, dude, let people figure out what works for them, please.
And it's also a lot of people yelling at the void and not trying to pivot, and try to change anything. Like, it feels like it's like a lot of the same sort of post over and over again. Yep. And it's like, maybe you could.
It really.
Pivot a little bit. But yeah, I would not go. But yeah, Reddit is like, when I go on Reddit for too long, I start to have like an existential crisis. Like, I read article after article and I'm like, we're doomed. And then simultaneously, I'm like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to compost. Like, it's like this weird duality of like, I don't know what to do with myself. But Reddit is not the place to be. But yeah, so when you built your PC, I didn't find when we built our PC, it was more expensive than buying a pre-made. Do you think you saved money on yours?
Yes, I did. This was before it was hard to source everything, obviously. Like right now, trying to build something, good luck finding a GPU. Like you can probably find mostly everything else, but you're still going to find those really horribly gouged prices. It's definitely, if you know where to look, I advocate for people, if they want to look at it, PC Part Picker is your best friend, because it'll help you source multiple things. It'll help you know if things are compatible. There's a lot of great sources out there, but that's where I started. And I had semi knowledge, working knowledge, like I would say how it works, but like, and like part wise, like we'll just go with this. And
so I think it's actually, it's interesting. I agree with Ryan. Look and try to source, because when we built my computer, we definitely saved money. Like, I built my computer a very long time ago. I don't know. I know that like because of the pandemic,
like money, though. It's like convenience. It's basically a convenience fee.
Right. And also, and especially because like building a computer can be very intimidating for a lot of people. But I do know that because of the pandemic, there's like an expense on something like a microchips or motherboard. There's something that's being like, I have no idea, because I am not technologically savvy at all.
There's silicon chip shortage, yes.
Yes, thank you. GPU.
That's affecting a lot of things, though. Like, that's even affecting, PlayStations, PS5s. Like, people, it's cars. It's affecting the production of a lot of different things.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I think it might be even more expensive right now than it normally would. Definitely. But Reddit is not the best. Like Reddit. It's a mixture. Definitely. It's a mixture. Some things are really cute and like wholesome, and some things make you want to cry hysterically. So I think it's a combination of things. But yeah. Hold on. I'm just what?
I feel like the train was going this way, and then we somehow just.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm just, anything that comes into my mind, I just start asking. I'm like, what about these? What about these? But yeah, semiconductors, and there's a chip shortage, which is so interesting how the pandemic, people think it just affected things on a surface level, but it's affected everything from like the top down, from every direction. I feel like something that, Twitch has been an outlet for a lot of people. And I know you had a stream the other day where you're talking about mental health, and you were talking about, what you've been going through. So side note, did you get another job after the whole thing with the...
So it was a very long time. It was a year and like 3 months.
Wow.
That I was just having a heck of a time finding everything. But, still during that time, I kept a stream schedule 5 to 6 days a week just to keep myself to some sort of schedule and keep myself feeling like I was being productive. That's how I discovered, Jambo and Allie and all these
side
people.
Quest.
And then side quest was fun. I'm like, wow, can we swear in the podcast?
Yes.
What an amazing fucking idea.
Yeah.
Like, to do so much good. And it was really like, people like Allie, like she did the toy drive for Christmas, and I said, hey, that is such an amazing idea. Can I do something like that? Because like, I'm not just gonna rip off your idea. Like, I'll ask if I can do it. And we collected, in a shorter time, because we didn't have as much time, like 63 toys or whatever to donate to Toys for Tots, and it was just so freaking cool. Just literally, we created like an Amazon list. They will, could order stuff. It would be sent to me, kind of like, like if you do a wish list.
Right.
And I got to take, just make such a huge difference for so many families, especially the last year. Right. When, a lot of people were probably in my position without a job, or reduced income, limited funds. Like, we were able to make a difference.
Yeah. And I feel like that's sort of what SideQuest is about and everyone that feels like they're in SideQuest. And that's why I love everyone there, is like we all want to make a difference with whatever platform we have and do whatever we can in any capacity that we can. I think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
And one of the major things that I feel like we're talking about this, I'm raising money for the Erica Legacy Foundation this month, was all about mental health and suicide prevention.
Yes, I actually caught most of that podcast with Chris.
Oh, nice.
That's
awesome.
It was a late night, but like that was hit me right in the feels, because I'm very familiar, with mental health issues myself, and losing loved ones and friends to mental health issues. So,
right.
Absolutely a cause very near and dear to not only myself but family members.
Right. And I think with people like you who's using your platform to spread awareness, and then the more streamers who do that, it becomes less taboo and stigmatized, and then people feel like,
for a long time I wouldn't, I didn't, the stigma, I wouldn't talk about it. Like I didn't, not only that, like I probably refused to acknowledge that, I had issues until,
right.
it was a while. But there was also, several other things. But it's definitely a really affirming feeling to have so many other people who are great members, and being able to speak up, be open about it, because that's how I had a friend of mine who started speaking up, and that's what prompted me to say, you know what?
Yeah.
It is more common than a lot of people think. It is something that we can really talk about, and doing so, even if it only helps one person step forward and realize that there is something they can do, there is help. Like maybe that person will again, start talking about it and help one person, and it just becomes this domino effect.
Absolutely. That's what we always say.
Amazing.
It's amazing. Like community is like one of the best things. And I think that like if you use your Twitch platform to build a safe, inclusive community that people feel like they can be open and honest about who they are, their own struggles, you will find other like-minded people who are in the same boat as you. So you don't feel alone, and you don't feel ostracized or isolated. You feel like you are, because so much of mental health is feeling like a burden. And there's like this thing of like, if you talk about it, you're complaining, and then someone has to deal with you. And those words are so horribly aggressive. And that's not how we should look at mental health. It shouldn't be that when you are talking about your feelings and what you're going through, you're complaining or whining. It's just you being human and having a human moment and expressing what you're going through, because everyone's going through something. Everybody. Like, if you are a human on this planet, there is some level or degree that you're experiencing something. So I think that's amazing that you've been talking more about it. And I honestly think, it's also, Ryan, your pronouns are he, him, right?
Yes.
So I think it's also really important that like somebody who is, a man and feels like they can talk about it, because so much of society says that men can't show their feelings or express things. And I think it's really,
nothing.
Like you're not allowed to show
my
that.
buttons more than that. Like
me too.
Man up. Men don't cry. Like
terrible.
No, that is bullshit on so many levels. But also as a veteran, 22 veterans a day lose their lives to suicide.
What part of the military were you in?
As much crap as I'll get for it. Air Force.
Why would you get crap for that?
Veterans of other branches will explain.
Well, I feel, isn't that sort of part of the thing? You all think that each one of the branches are better than the other, or something like that.
Absolutely. It's more of a camaraderie thing, but it's definitely
What was your experience like in the Air Force, if I can ask, if it's okay?
There we go. See, somebody said it. Chair Force. I
knew it. You're cool.
I knew it was coming. I
think anybody who joins any branch of the military is a hero, because it is a sacrifice, and I think it's incredible. So, can I ask what your experience was like? Do you feel like you can share that?
So here's the thing. I don't often like. Technically, I'm a veteran, but I didn't ever deploy, so I don't really like not all about you're like, yeah, I'm a veteran, but like I don't feel like I'm as much. And this is, probably a mind thing.
That's like
but
imposter syndrome.
Yes, I don't feel like I'm a veteran because I didn't deploy, I didn't I didn't do combat type of thing, and yeah, that's definitely imposter syndrome, which I didn't understand.
Stop it right now.
Until I started, being on Twitch, and I did not know what imposter syndrome was, and it's a very eye-opening experience for sure.
So okay, you're still an incredible human being, and all efforts make a difference in the military for sure. So stop that train of thought right now, mister, or we'll all come for you. But well, thank you for your service and for doing that. And I don't know how also in the military, did they help you? I know that maybe at the time, I don't know what your mental health was or things with them, but do you feel like veterans get the help that they need with mental health support afterwards? Because I personally
Absolutely
don't.
Not.
Okay.
I can. So if we'll take this tangent, because actually, the first time I realized I needed help, and I didn't have insurance, I didn't have anything. Well, I said, well, I'll go to the VA. Mm-hmm. They have, a mental health services within the VA. Mm-hmm. And I was really, really not in a good place. And for me to make that call or, try to make that appointment was very difficult for me. I'm somebody who has a hard time accepting help regardless. So for me to make that call was hard, but then they basically, took down information, and that was it. Even though I was, telling them you
need help.
Yes, and it was literally a cry for help. I never heard from them again. They brushed me off, and that put a really sour taste in my mouth.
Of course.
About getting help, because I said, well, if they don't give a shit, why should I?
Oh, that's horrible. I'm so sorry.
I can tell you there has been slight improvement since then to the VA. I mean, I have been out since a while. So over the years, it has gotten better. It is not anywhere near where it should be. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that, for as much as we spend on financing wars and for the military
weaponry and all that stuff, trillions.
Yeah, everyone immediately assumes, oh, the VA is getting more funding from the government, that means things will get better.
But they're not allocating it there,
right?
To mental health.
Funding, no, not even that, just overall, that funding also goes to paying the people who work in the VA, and maybe machinery and buildings, and that doesn't go to actually making sure that the help goes where it needs to and gets to the people who need it. Right. Trigger warning for some people. There have been multiple cases across the country where veterans have committed suicide in VA parking lots or inside Veterans Administration buildings.
Wow.
And if that is not
horrible.
Just
that just gave me chills. It's so upsetting.
You're literally there to get help, and they don't do anything.
Yeah, I think that that is heartbreaking on so many levels. But I think what's incredibly frustrating is that you could argue that being in any branch of the military is one of the absolute most can be traumatizing. You're taken away from your family at long periods of time, and you're sacrificing potentially your life, or life and limb, your mental health. If ever there was a group of people who should deserve and have beyond words, everyone deserves help, but truly, resoundingly deserve to have mental health help.
Yeah, and
it's them. It's you guys.
They for a long time, and this part's slowly getting better.
Yeah,
they hadn't for the most time allowed you to seek help outside and have them cover things. It had to be done within
the
an
VA.
overwhelmed system
Yeah.
that is not designed for the capacity that they're getting for all of these people coming home. And so you couldn't get,
but they could
referred
though.
out to somewhere else. And now they are starting to do that, but it's still not nearly to the point that it needs to be at.
I honestly, I don't do, okay, so let's say you get deployed. I don't know, like, I don't even care which branch, any branch. You get deployed and you come back. Is there, like, an interim of time where you, like, live before you go home and you get to get, like, medical attention from a psychiatrist who can, talk with you for, like, a month where you are, assessed and you make sure before they just send you home? Is that sort of interim thing in existence or no?
Not for the most part, no. Okay. So they have periods, like, basically it's a lot of paperwork, and like they literally will help train you to become a civilian again, which is all.
Is that called bullshit. Like a debriefing or something like that? Or something?
No, I don't. It's like an out processing. It's a process, like that usually just takes a lot of different classes, filling out paperwork for this, and they still don't fully, explain things. I was actually, I was medically discharged. I blew out my knee. So like the process for me is probably considerably different, but also like for me, that was a defining moment in my downward spiral for my mental health, because I had basically like, I signed up before I even left high school. I was already ready. I was like, I'm going to do 20 years and retire. That was my life plan. And then that was all gone.
Oh, man.
But a lot of people coming back basically get, here's your paperwork. Good luck.
And they don't try to what's the word I'm looking for? So you injured yourself in the line of duty, you then are discharged, medically discharged, and they don't try to like find a place for you in another job. They don't try to like, I don't know it's not rehoming you, but like
although you can get reclassed, but also they have at least and then probably still now they had the soldier first mentality. So if you're not in fighting form, then see you later.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. And first of all, I just want to say there are other veterans in chat, so thank you so much for your service. And I want to ask you a question, Ryan, and I don't know, this is just a thought that I had, and I hope this doesn't upset anybody, but do you think that because for many, many, many generations, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, every branch was for a long time only men, and men are, in this society, told men don't cry, buck up, rub some dirt in it, whatever you want to say. And having emotions is always looked at like a weakness. So having mental health struggles is still considered so stigmatized because it's a form of weakness for you soldiers. Sure. Do you think that antiquated thing is the one barrier between...
Oh, not the one barrier.
One of the major barriers? Definitely. Do you think that's one of the major barriers between?
Definitely. There's, that hardened mentality, you gotta be battle hardened. You gotta be, bulletproof. Right. Nothing can affect you.
Right.
And it's definitely, antiquated would be the best word, because, we're not living in the 1940s and 1950s. It's It's a completely outdated and just
detrimental. Like, it's horrible. I mean, it's absolutely horrible.
It's a school of thought that, truth be told, so, and I'm sure any of the other vets, it's getting better, but a lot of the doctors, at least for me, have been they're older doctors. Old, rusty white men who are set and like, I hate, they're set in their ways. This is how we treat things. Nothing changes no matter what the training we have. This is what it is.
Which is horrible. It's
in medicine in general, I'm seeing.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's something that needs to change, and it is frustrating. It's nice to see some younger blood be brought into, I don't try to go to the VA often, but if I do, it's nice to see that there are, some younger
They're
faces
making progress.
there, and
I
they're
think
somewhat making progress. Yeah.
the truth is, though, and I hate to say this, but and I'm just speaking as an American in America because I don't live in another country, like trillions of dollars go into our military, and arguably we still have the best military in the world. These men and women who sacrifice seeing their family and every normality of their life to go and possibly risk their life to keep the citizens of this country safe are assets. They should be looked at like assets, not people who are disposable. And when they come back, they are still an asset. They can be huge and an integral parts of society again, and they should not come back and be given nothing, especially if you're injured or if you mentally, and it doesn't have to be a physical injury. It could be anything. So it's very frustrating, and I feel like this needs to be talked about all the time. Like this should be a conversation that is, and I love that you're talking about this because you are who we're talking about. You came back, you had a medical injury, and then you had to find your way. And then when you tried to find your way and you went to the VA, they didn't help you. And that's incredibly infuriating. And I don't like that.
I didn't go back. I didn't talk to, for years. And then finally, I hit a very, very bad low again. And I needed to do something. And well, I see you were in the system from, years ago. I said, yeah. I said,
still struggling.
And you guys, that's the thing. Like you guys never followed up and got, me an appointment with whoever you were supposed to. And, thankfully somebody there had, a conscience, and, they're like, I am so sorry that happened to you. And like it felt nice that somebody recognized that there was a huge oversight and there was a massive error.
And I think that things that come out, like there are movies. What was that movie with Bradley Cooper, American Sniper? There are movies that come out and people watch these movies and they kind of consume them as we do. And that was based on a true story of a true man, of what he really went through. And nothing changed substantially after that movie, which I'm pretty sure Bradley Cooper won awards for just portraying what a real man experienced. It's very very frustrating. It's like these stories are not just for us to consume and move on. These are supposed to be.
There's some. I can't ever remember the name of the actor, but there's another one that focuses a lot on the mental health aspect. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
It focuses so much on the mental health and the PTSD that so many veterans face coming back and getting the care, and that movie,
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm not I'll tell you guys all straight up, I'm a man and I cry.
Yes. Everyone, yes.
That movie crushed me.
Crying is healthy, and honestly, I hope
it crushed me.
I honestly probably will. I can't. I when I watch movies like that, when I watched American Sniper, I was messed up afterwards.
See, I genuinely knew what happened because I read Chris Kyle's book.
Yeah,
and I had seen the story. Everybody had seen the news, and still at the end of that movie, chills. And I think that I think it's, like you said, there's this generation that is just, it's an old way of thinking now. Men should cry. And not only in the Veterans Administration, but in our Senate, in our Congress,
and
so we're not going to go into deep talk.
Yeah, no, we won't go down that. That's that could be a whole other podcast, but it's true. Men are just humans, just like women. And for some reason, women are, we're sort of allowed to cry more, but also we're looked at weak if we do show all emotions are just considered weakness, it seems like. But it seems more accepted for women than it is for men, and men need to let it out just as much as anybody else. And I'm very glad to see that the younger generations of young boys or that are growing up and girls that are growing up, I see a difference already in the way that they're being raised and they're being taught. And I think that's
it makes me
important.
glad to know that that's the future of what is going to end up taking over. But I just wish it would happen sooner.
Me too.
And when it comes to that.
Or wait, Ryan, you're a millennial too, right?
Technically, yes.
Okay, so I was watching this TikTok today, and I swear all millennials feel the same way. We're sandwiched between the older way, not the Gen X's, but like the boomers, our parents. We're sandwiched between a generation that is just very stagnated and has very one-dimensional sort of like money, and that's like it. And then we have below us the Gen Zs who are like, let's go. And then us millennials, like, we've lived through everything horrible. Like, we're looking up and we're like, oh God, we're looking down. We're like, come on, grow up faster. Yeah. We need help.
We lived through the birth and death of MTV, the music videos, the rise of the internet culture, like cell phones. We've seen the shit.
And it's sort of like Gen X and millennials sort of combined, or just like, we're waiting, like we want the changes, but we have just been smashed under the boot for a long time. But now this generation that's coming up, you could see but they need to just get a little bit older. As they get older, we're progressing, and that makes me so excited. But talking about MTV is hitting me too. I'm wearing a Rugrats t-shirt today. Like, I'm trying to live my nostalgic life. Like, talking about MTV, oh my God, I used to come home from school and watch TRL.
I'm going to be 35 in January, okay? You do not need to preach to me.
Ryan, I'm going to be 30 in a month.
I
am entering the 30s.
Oh.
What should I expect, Ryan?
Well, first of all, look up Bo Burnham's 30, and there you go.
Oh, I also, did you watch that inside the special?
I watched that because I was confined to my bed for basically a weekend.
Oh, well, were you sick?
Well, I'm already in a shit mood.
Might as well ruin it more.
I put that on. I was like,
it's so true.
Why did I do this to myself?
Do you know that I've only watched it once, and do you know I sing those songs every day? Every day. I watched it the day it came out, and I've still sing those songs every day. I didn't watch the day it came out,
but I can tell you that every day since I've watched it,
it's in there, man.
Even if I'm at work, all of a sudden this little voice comes up and goes, CEO entrepreneur. And I'm like, God damn it, no, not today.
Jeffrey Bezos in my head every minute of my life. And I can't.
He went to space the other day.
I know. Oh God. Yay, we did it. Honestly, it's such a well done masterpiece. If you have not seen Bo Burnham's Inside, it's a Netflix special. I wouldn't recommend. Don't listen to Ryan. Don't watch it when you're actually sad. or depressed. It's heavy.
I'm a sadist. Don't be like me.
Don't do that. It is heavier. It's classified as a comedy special. It's not funny.
If you, I mean, it is, but it isn't, because you're I can relate to that, and fuck.
Yeah, or you're like, ow, stop it hurting. You're personally attacking me. I mean, when I was watching that. I'm trying to figure out
if he was like actually going through the shit, or like had been through the shit before and knew because some of that was just a little too real.
It was too real. My theory is that Bo Burnham is a genius, and everything is always so calculated and so planned. Like everything even from his Vine days. I mean, he is just a calculated comedic actor. My feeling is it was the kernel of it was truth, and a lot of it was acting. I think the energy behind it was real, and everything he wrote was real. But I do think he is a performer at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, so I kind of feel like when you're watching it, it rips your heart out. Listen, performative art is still emotional, and I feel like it.
And as somebody who is definitely an empath myself,
it's heavy.
That also just rips you apart in different ways, and you're just like
the song "That Funny Feeling" that song in particular, you know, with the guitar and it's like very somber. That song was my favorite. And I've learned that if that song is your favorite, you may or may not have some issues. I have re-listened to that song like 1,000 times, and
once I found out it was on Spotify, it was
my god, it was done. Me and my husband had a husband. Me and my husband had a commute. We had to go to this wedding. We listened to the entire CD on Spotify. I just aged myself with CD on the way to a wedding, and when we got there, we were like, "Hi, hi, everybody. we're here." It is sadness.
I'm at an ATL, and I don't mean
yeah. It was heavy, but it really is a very it is a very beautiful but it is heavy and it's hardcore, but it is amazing.
It's that opening up about mental issues. Like you could see there's a lot of truth there. Right. And, you know, he even talking about, you know, the anxiety and panic attacks. Like, you could see there's a very real layer of truth, whether it built a little bit of a
truth in it.
Performance, like you said, over that still it's very much based in a truth.
I completely agree. I mean, he took years off because he was having panic attacks. And I think that was so upsetting when Bo Burnham says, and then I finally felt ready, and then the pandemic hit. And that sort of feels like everyone's story. Like everyone, you know, we were just living our lives sort of in this blissful ignorance of like whatever. And we were all impacted in such severe ways, whether we like it or not. The repercussions of this last year and a half, which we're really not completely over it. We will feel it.
No, it's
not over.
The effects are going to be long lasting. Both in like the mental health aspect of what everyone has been through, right? But also like social and like the economic impacts.
For sure. Or even how bosses.
Last I saw, there was like a whole mess of cargo freighters.
Yeah,
they're literally lining them up off the coast of the LA port because they don't have room for them. Yeah, and it's absurd.
It's absurd. I mean, like it feels like time has gone so slow. Like this 1 year has been 3, 5, 7 years, but also so fast, like inexplicably fast. Like how time, like that's why I always say, what year is it? Like what day is it? It's like time is just makes no sense anymore. It just feels like everything has changed. And I completely agree with you, Ryan, that like the mental health repercussions of this year we will feel for a very long time. But on the flip side, I do feel like, and I say this, you know, with a heavy heart, I do feel like this year has brought good changes and positive changes that I hope will continue on, with people kind of seeing beyond the veil and realizing like if, you know, we can make a change and things can change for the better, and progress for the sake of progress is useless. We should progress to truly change the fabric of each of our lives for the better. So I'm hopeful for the future. And I want to just circle back for a second. Ryan, you did just start a new job, right?
Yeah, in March.
How is it going for you?
That's been rough.
Oh, okay.
On my mental health, because I went from streaming every day and really finding something that I enjoyed so damn much to then like, back to work for the man.
Right.
It's definitely a big change. And then knowing that like I would have to not necessarily make my content suffer, but I would have to break it down a little bit more, you know, from what I was doing to consider.
You have to find a new balance.
Yes, and that was the thing, finding the balance, because I have, on top of the mental issues that I, you know, have from mental health issues, I also have a strange form of like insomnia, where it's a delayed sleep phase circadian rhythm disorder. So my internal clock, I am basically wired to be a night owl.
Yeah.
And I actually went to
hard relate. Anna and I are like hard relate to that.
I actually went to cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, and I learned a lot about sleep and the effect that sleep has on our mental state.
Right.
You know,
for
there's
sure.
actually a sleep hygiene, and it affects your mental state in such a phenomenal way that I didn't realize.
Huge, yes. Chris is like, hell yeah, Chris. That's a huge part of the Erica Legacy Foundation is sleep,
and that was something that you know, thankfully, like, that was afterwards. You know, the VA was like, okay, like, you know, we have this. Like, I'm like, okay, and like, I went through, you know, weeks and weeks of this, you know, CBTI, and, you know, picked up tips and tricks, and, you know, did a lot of, you know, recording of different things. And yeah, come to find out, like, there's a little bit you can do to fix, you know, like, my circadian rhythm disorder, but it's probably something that's going to run with me. Well, at the time I was working a job where I had to be up ass crack early. Drive about an hour a day to get to my job, and like, so I made a switch to a better job that started later in the day, let me wake up later. Like, that's a huge improvement for me.
Good.
And then, you know, this job, I'm back to, you know, being up and hating my life.
No.
Just,
well, could you find like a
things.
nighttime job? Like, could that be something that you could find? Like, I feel like especially now, there are so many people who are not going back to work because they refuse to go back into an office setting because of like the pandemic. And there's like a lot of change up in the workforce right now.
There is a lot of change.
Would that affect your stream though? Because if you stream at night too.
Oh yeah. That definitely would.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'm kind of lucky in a way right now. So I'm working from home. So literally, like, my stream stuff is right here. Well, my work computer is right here.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
So it's really nice not to have the commute and because my actual office is about an hour away.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
It'd be rough.
Well, remote work is going to be the new wave of the future.
It is, and it doesn't sound like there even a chance that we are going back. Like, I started working from home, and it doesn't seem like it's something that they're planning on bringing us back, which is great for me.
They shouldn't. And honestly, it's ridiculous that employers like my husband's employer was like, oh, well, maybe you could start, you know, coming into the office like once every couple months. And he's like, if you need me to come in once every couple months, like, fine. He's like, but I will not be coming back. Like, I can do my job better at home. And it has now been proven for the last year. So that argument of like, oh, well, your job might suffer has already been proven from the pandemic that it won't. So employers almost should just look at it like they don't have to pay for, you know, they should have already been paying for people's commute, but like overhead and stuff like that. Like, maybe just, you have one tiny office that you could do something in, but like, you don't need this like 1,000 people cubicle anymore. It's unnecessary. So yeah, I don't think they should bring you back. I will yell at them if they try to bring you back.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But also, the whole job thing obviously went sideways. Well, I moved. I am staying with family members, my aunt and uncle. My uncle he's a Navy vet, but he has MS, and he, within the last, 2 years, Alzheimer's or dementia. So it is something that runs in his family. So I've been helping, you know, obviously with him, but also helping my aunt with the things that he can't do anymore, like mowing the lawn and stuff. So it's been a very nice thing. It's not something I talk about a lot, you know, and you know, we give parts of ourselves that we, you know, want to, obviously,
right, of course,
you know, when it comes to this, but like, it's been
a lot.
Yeah, it's been a lot because seeing him, you know, he has really like great memories of his past, but he can't tell you that he went to his daughter's house yesterday for her birthday. He doesn't remember that.
Right. It's the short term. He's having trouble with
Yeah, it's gotten very bad. I'm actually like trying to do something very, very, very cool and special for him, but it's going to be a process. So when he served in the Navy, one of his best memories was at Midway Island when they were coming back from, I want to say, Australia. And like it was just his memories of that place, of the birds there, of like the water. And I found out there is technically a way to visit, so I'm trying to get something together to take him back before his memory gets really, really bad.
Oh, wow. That would be amazing. And also, yes, like recording any of his stories maybe, so you could play it back for him, things like that.
A digital photo frame.
Oh, nice.
Pictures of his ship and like from the island, so he's got that.
That is awesome.
You know, even though he's told some stories before, it's awesome to
have
always,
that.
You know, hear him just like, oh yeah, did I tell you about this? Like, oh no, like
a time capsule for him.
He remembers those, and you know he remembers those clear as day.
Yeah, and honestly,
it's nice.
I mean, I don't know what the timeline is, but I always, because I have a neuroscience degree, so I still read medical journals that come out. And I just read one recently that was so promising about not only like stopping Alzheimer's deterioration in its tracks, but possibly like a form of regression therapy where it can undo the damage that was done. And I don't know, when it will be human trials, but it is so promising how far they've come. But I am so sorry that you're going through that. But it's so nice that you're able to help your family and be there for them. And that's a wonderful thing. But I can tell that you have a lot on your shoulders right now. And that's a very hard place to be. And we're always here for you.
It definitely is also like it's, like it helped me out in a great spot. And like, it doesn't necessarily bother me. Like, would it be nice to like get back out and get my own place again? Yeah. But like family is,
it's so important.
For the most, for the most part, there's exceptions, like a very important thing.
Right.
So
it's important, everyone has a different family life, but it's amazing. Like if you have that connection with your family, it's amazing that you're able to give back and help them in a way that works for you. I'm sure they're so happy that you're there. Oh, yeah. And it's definitely
especially during the pandemic, because they're both they're both older. Like I literally, since I wasn't working, I did all the grocery shopping. I did, all that stuff, so they didn't have to go out and deal with all that.
For sure. Because the immune suppressed and absolutely, and the age alone.
Especially with him, with his, the MS and, gotta be a lot more careful with him, because when he gets sick, he gets really, really, really sick.
Of course. So Ryan, also, Chris was just saying that, the Erica Legacy Foundation they're phenomenal. And if you ever want to reach out to them, and they'll give you resources, they can help you in lots of different ways. And I want you to know, I'm so sorry that you have a lot on your plate and you have a lot going on, and that you're such an amazing person that you're still trying to give back in as many ways as you can. And that just is so commendable to who you are as a human and as a man and as a friend. And you are a phenomenal human being entirely. And I am
First of all, how dare you?
But I'm so grateful that you felt like this was a safe place and you shared so much.
No, yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Always kind of loved, even if I don't, get to stay up anymore because of work. I catch, a lot of the beginnings of these, and I try to hang out with y'all, but also the great things that you have done and SideQuest has done, for me to be a part of, gives a lot of serotonin sometimes.
That's serotonin. That's serotonin. She's elusive, but she's wonderful.
A little bit
elusive. But you're an amazing human. And just because we're nearing the end, and I feel like we've had a very I hope cathartic, and I hope it was you felt safe and comfortable talking about this. But I want to ask you, totally out of left field.
Do it.
Change the the vibe for just a second because I don't know why this question popped into my head. What is your favorite fruit? It just popped into my head and I was like, I need to know what Ryan's favorite fruit is. I don't know why, but my brain is telling me that I need to know. And now I need to know.
If we're talking just, your basic fruits.
No, I want to know desert island fruit, Ryan.
Oh, like that. Ooh.
Like you have one fruit for the rest of your life. What is it?
Oh, it's still probably raspberries.
Oh my God, you're so cute.
Raspberries are amazing.
They are so amazing. But why? I don't know why. If you had said, what do you think your favorite fruit would have been? I was so sure it was going to be an apple.
They're okay. But yeah, I would definitely be like dragon fruit or like raspberries for sure.
Like dragon fruit?
Oh, dragon fruit is so good.
Come on. You have to admit, it has like no flavor. It's beautiful, but it has like.
I mean, it doesn't have a lot of flavor.
So
I love it in a smoothie though,
yes,
like dragon flavored stuff. I'm like, this is a lie. What
about lychees? Have you ever had lychee nuts?
I have never. I've never had.
Ryan, when I see you when we do our New York meetup, which has to happen, I'm gonna bring you a jar of lychees. You will love them if you like dragon fruit.
Kiwi berries.
Which ones?
Have you had kiwi berries?
No, I've never even heard of such a thing. What is a kiwi berry?
It's literally like almost like a grape-sized kiwi, but it's just like
you can pop it in your mouth.
Yes, and I love kiwis, so they've got that nice tartness to them, and they're so good.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to look.
I found them. If you have a Wegmans near you, I don't know if you guys have them.
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm gonna look at kiwi berries.
Yes.
Also, I saw a TikTok where someone took grapes and poured like Jello powder, like how to make Jello, like over them, and it made like they look like candied grapes. Evidently, everyone says they're really good. Am I gonna try it? Yes. Is it probably gonna actually be disgusting? Yes. But I'm gonna try it because TikTok told me to do it. So I'm gonna try it. But that sounds so good. I love that your favorite fruit are raspberry/dragon fruit. That is very unique. And I feel like that's who you are. And I love it. I freaking love it.
I mean, have you ever tried cotton candy grapes in a freezer?
Yes. Oh, in the freezer. They're but you know what though? They're so expensive.
They are. No, they are.
So
they're
expensive.
like $7 a pound.
Ours are like $9. For like a little container. I'm like,
for like a pound, yeah.
Yeah, you need a pound of them to make them substantial. But yeah, they're so good.
But then even then, like you buy them and it's like 2 pounds though. Like in the bag, the bag they sell you, like, oh yeah, it's this price per pound. So you're like, oh, I guess that's you don't think it. Then you get out there, it's like this is $17 worth of grapes. Like, excuse the fuck out of you.
Yeah, I know. Grapes of wrath. No, grape inflation is real. I'm telling you, man, it is unbelievable how expensive grapes are.
They're also a hybrid, so like they're they're not necessarily like modified, but it's just a hybrid.
Fun fact, raspberries have the some of the highest antioxidant levels. They significantly lower depression. Their antioxidants are like DNA repairman. They go around fixing your cells, which is actually true of all the berries. So blackberries, blueberries.
I love raspberries so much because I need them.
You need that extra repairman man in there. But no, I
eat a whole pound of raspberries in one sitting. This is for my mental health.
This is for my mental health. This is free mental health. Well, raspberries aren't free. Although I am trying to grow my own. They are harder than it.
It is really hard because it takes quite a few years before they get to a point where they can.
Where you can eat them. Yeah, I have tiny little ones. And I don't think that they're gonna be edible. Eatable? I don't think they're gonna be eatable. Ryan, I just want to say,
way to say it.
And eatable. It is a very. It is. Ryan, you are pooping awesome. Is there anything else you want to share with us today? Because you are amazing.
Well, now that you mention it, Poop Coven, I'm pretty damn proud of you guys for all of your work on St. Jude and the Erica Legacy Foundation. So keep it up. Keep making Haley poop and sweat. And thank you for the Ryan donations.
That was not what you were supposed to do. That is against the law.
Wait, no. It's not, I don't follow the rules.
Goodbye, dear sir. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Don't you dare.
I said
No.
good day, sir.
Good day, sir. No, I just want to say, Ryan, you are amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time out to help us. I'm so sorry we got a little behind because of a lot of Ryan donations, but
You know what? Honestly, I'm on emails all day tomorrow, basically. So like, it's a chill day for me. So
Okay,
I can
good.
just drink extra coffee. I don't really.
all Death Wish coffee, right? The best kind. We see it. I know. Chris was commenting on it before. It's friggin' awesome. You are awesome. Ryan,
like,
thank you so
lucky.
much. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 18 of Coven Conversations. You can find Ryan Not Lying at twitch.tv/Ryan_not_lion. I am PoopWitchX, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much, Ryan. Bye. He's doing a joke from earlier.
Who's doing a joke from earlier? Me?
Love you guys. Thank you so much, everybody.